What's going on, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of Hammer Stakes at Age You Faster Subscriber Edition. Now, if you're new to this is a series where I actually take photos that were submitted by real subscribers, and I walk through potential mistakes that they may be making with their hair that are, well, robbing some of that youthful appearance. Now, more importantly, I actually show you how to address those potential concerns to give a more youthful look. Yeah, that would make sense, right? Okay, and if you're new to the channel, then you may be wondering, where am I? Why am I not in a salon? Well, first of all, my name is Justin Hickox. I've been doing hair since 1995 professionally, and in these videos, I prefer to take you on adventures while I teach you about hair. I prefer to see some sort of beautiful background versus a wall in my salon. Which is how I roll. So with that said, normally it would be on some sort of hike and you'd see a waterfall or a view, but today you're gonna see that. Yeah, my wife and I are in the Dominican Republic on vacation. I'm still bringing you a video. You're welcome. Now, very quickly before we get started, a couple things to unpack. First of all, these are real human beings. So, as always, I expect the comments to stay respectful. And you guys have been doing a killer job on that, so I really appreciate all the support. But just know, keep it light. All right, let's have some fun. And second, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. More about them here in a minute. So more about that, but for now, should we go check out what could be a pretty amazing sunrise while I introduce you to today's model? I feel like that's a good option. Let's go do that now. Yeah, look at that. Doesn't suck. Okay, you guys meet Amanda. First of all, Amanda, thank you so much for being part of this. I really appreciate you taking the risk to throw these photos out here and let me talk about what's wrong with them. Still, it will always be a little odd to me. But nonetheless, thank you very much. You guys, before we dive into some potential concerns that are happening right now, first I need to read you what Amanda wrote in the email that she sent me so that we have some reference as to some things that are going to help guide my decision-making process for what I suggest. I'm 55 years old, and after 2 years of grow out from dyed brunette coloring, I'm completely natural color. I just don't think the cut lifts my face like you say, but I'm not sure where to go from here with the shape of my face. So with that said, Amanda, first, let's jump into just what I would consider your face shape, and so we can kind of understand where we're gonna be working from. You have a bit of a more rectangular face shape. It's got some stronger angles, and it's a little bit on the longer side. Now, the first mistake I would say is the length. And I know in the email she actually said she's not sure that the length is really working with her face shape, and it may be a little bit dragging her face down. Now, we'll get into the shape here in just a second, but the length does have a tendency to just bring that eye down a little bit. And it's pulling the overall shape down. So I would recommend that we bring that length up a tiny bit, which I'll show you in just a second. The next big mistake I'm seeing is a little bit in the lack of layering. Now, I'm not 100% sure that this is a lack of layering. It's kind of hard to tell, but it looks as though there isn't a lot of layering internally or in the back. The shape is very flat and rectangular, and it's bringing your eye down the shape. It actually kind of points towards the back bottom of the shape. Now, this lack of layering is also compounding that same shape from the front view. It again has a very rectangular feel. Now, the third mistake kind of piggybacks off of all that, and that is just the overall style and where we're creating volume or not creating volume. There's not a lot of volume in the top around the crown or in the top around the temples. Now, all of this combined is creating, again, a very rectangular shape, which is compounding her already bit more of a rectangular face shape. In a situation like this, where we have a rectangular face, we want to be mindful about how much of that shape we're creating in the overall style. I hope that makes sense. Does it make sense? Okay. Now, with that said, let's talk about what we would do to change that and give you an idea of what that would look like. But should we move locations and show you something else? Yeah, let's do that. All right, just come with me. This is the perfect place to talk to you about today's video sponsor, Skillshare. Yeah, this is the place that I come to watch my videos because, oddly enough, I'm a visual learner. Probably why I have a YouTube channel and not a blog. But if you are unfamiliar with what Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. It's like the best place to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, or just flat out get lost in creativity altogether. Now, one of my favorite things about it is the fact that it's actually curated for learning. That means that there's zero ads. So you can stay 100% focused and follow wherever your creativity is taking you. And they're always launching new premium classes. Now, right now, I'm actually learning from Thomas Frank, about productivity as a creative. No matter what you're into, what you want to learn about, there are so many things that you can learn on Skillshare. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. So check out the link in the description below. The first 1,000 of my subscribers that use that link will get themselves a free 30-day trial. So that's a big deal. Use that link below to let them know that I sent you. Now, with that said, I'm gonna take you over to this pretty cool place over here on the grounds, and let's see how my suggestions would actually modify what's going on with Amanda's hair right now. Sound like a plan? Okay. How cool is that? Okay, so we explained the mistakes. Now let's talk about what it would look like if we kind of used her same shape, right? So modified what she's working with and then changed a few things to help kind of address those mistakes. Don't worry. Like always, I'm going to be showing you guys some curveballs at the end of this video. But for now, I want to stay kind of in this same length range just because she mentioned that she had been growing her hair out the color. I assumed that maybe there was a little bit of length growth there too. So let's just keep her in this ballpark and see what happens. If we take the length up just a little bit, and not just in the front, but also create a little bit of more of an angle from the profile, notice how this shape brings the eye up, and it follows the cheek structure and the jaw structure. It's a subtle change, but it has a large impact. Now what if we layered it and created volume in the areas that I was talking about? Well, from the front, now we can see how the volume up through the temples and up through the top help to accentuate more of that cheek structure. They help to lift the eye up, but they still keep the length and a roughly similar length to where she was in the beginning, just slightly modified. When we look at the profile, it does the exact same thing. We've beveled the back in a little bit to create a little bit more of that illusion to help draw that eye up a bit more. And all in all, this shape just looks a lot more vibrant to me. Do you see what I'm saying? Comment below, like literally let me know. Do you see what I'm talking about here? Because I think it makes a world of a difference, even though it's not a huge difference. Now there's one other thing, and I didn't want to put this in the mistakes portion because this isn't necessarily a mistake. This would fit more into just a suggestion that I think would look amazing with this particular look and just all over in general. Amanda mentioned that she was growing her hair out from being colored, and now it's more of a natural color. But there's still a bit of brown tone, which I would assume is her natural color mixed in with the salt and pepper. But I'm also noticing that there's a bit of color on her white. So there's a bit of that yellow staining. This happens very often in white or very light hair. I've done a video all about it, which you can check out right here. But if we could tone some of that yellow out and create a bit more of white in that white hair, add some lowlights, this is what that would look like. Now again, see what I said? It's not a huge dramatic change, but it gives the hair a lot more dimension. It gives it a lot more kind of pop, if you will. But to me, it also helps to create a little bit more contrast in the face and ultimately create a little bit more drama to the overall look. Do you see that? Okay. Now, like I said, I'm always going to share a curveball with you, but as I share the curveball, I want to take you to this kind of crazy place that, yeah, just come with me real quick. Just come here. Yeah, this is above our room. It's actually attached to our room. It's our own private little pool and shower. You guys, this place is so much fancier than we are. Just is. But that doesn't suck. Okay, now, before I jump into these curveballs, I am very aware that the photoshopping skills on this one are somewhat lacking. They're not as good as I would like them to be. I'm actually, like I said, on vacation, so I'm working off my laptop. Just be aware of that. But with that said, let's dive into the first one. Now, I wanted to give a similar length, but there's a few things going on here that I really like that I think would be a really cool change for her. In the photo that she sent in, the front of her hair looks to be that her texture is a little bit on the straighter side, and she's using a curling iron or a flat iron to add that wave in. So doing something like this wouldn't be a whole lot more time for her in a length range that's still similar to where she's at now. Now there's one whole aspect to this particular look that I really like, but with that said, I'm going to preface this with, this is definitely if she wanted to do something totally different. This is going to be a lot of maintenance. It's not going to be nearly as easy to maintain, But it is an interesting look, so I wanted to throw it in here just to show you guys a different option. Let's imagine that she wanted to, for some reason, go back to coloring her hair, adding something a little bit different, but didn't want to lose the overall gray effect. In that case, what we've done here is I just added some depth to the roots and then some depth internally and brightened up those white pieces a little bit. What this does is it creates a lot of dimension in the overall look, but it creates a lot of dimension around her skin tone. And that is what really makes the skin, the face shape, as well as her eyes and all of this stuff pop. That's the part of this that I really, really, really like. And again, it's definitely the most high maintenance part of this. So this may or may not be on the menu at all. Just throwing something out of left field. Hence the curveball for you. Right out of the gate, I don't love the photoshopping on this one, so you're gonna have to work with me a little bit here, but I wanted to give you kind of an idea of what this would look like on her versus just show you the style. So this is if we decided to go much shorter. Notice how that it's a little bit more angled down towards the ear, which helps to accentuate the cheek structure and as well lift the eye up. But more importantly, I like the movement and texture that it has. Now, in real life, this would have quite a bit more texture and movement, but as I said, this photo is only showing so much. But I like actually how kind of straight it is. There's volume in the right areas, but the ends are not bent. That gives it this kind of edgy movement. So this is a very short look, but it still has some length around the face. It still has that feminine feel, but at the same time has a lot of texture and a lot of edge to it. So for me, this would be a really cool idea if you wanted to go quite a bit shorter. But as always, the big question is, which way would you go with these? Any of them? Am I totally off base? Who knows? And hopefully someday we'll figure out what Amanda thinks. But nonetheless, I hope you like that. Comment below, let me know. Make sure, again, check out Skillshare. And if you are new, this is your first experience with this whole thing, there are more videos that direction. And if you haven't already, come on, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss these, all right? Right there. All right, well, I'm not gonna jump in there. What am I talking about? I'm gonna go to the pool. All right, you guys have a good one. Bye.